Welcome back to this tutorial. Let's finish building the environment. First, we need to group the background layers. So go over here and select all of the images. Go down here and create a group and name it background. Now, let's bring up the blues in the blazer. Go down here and create a hue saturation adjustment. Clip it to our blazer layer by holding down Alt or Option for Mac and click between the two layers. Now let's bump up the cyans a little bit. That's good. Now let's bring up the blues some. We just want to bring up the color of the blazer a tad. Now we can start bringing in some elements for the background. Go to your file location and bring in this image. It's too big, so let's resize it. And move it behind the blazer. Make it a little bigger. Maybe compress the height some. Let's move it some more this way. That looks good. Now let's duplicate it and move it over here. We need to erase some of the grass so it blends a little better. We are going to erase some of it so they don't look the same. That should do it. Now merge them two together, create a group, and name it Rocks. Next, create a curves adjustment layer and start bringing down the midtones. Make sure you clip it to the layer. Let's bring up the shadows some. More the midtones a little. Now go to red and pull some teals in the shadows and some in the midtones. Create another curves layer and bring down the shadows and midtones. Let's bring this up to help blend it better. That looks good. Now select the rock layer, go up here, and blur it. Now select the background layer and blur it a little. I normally do this with either field blur or tilt shift in the blur gallery, but I just updated Photoshop, and for some reason, it doesn't want to work. One good thing about Photoshop, there are 100 different ways to do something. You just have to figure out what works best for you. Now select the Smart Filter mask and start blending, making the depth of field fall off smoothly. That looks good. That looks good. Now let's remove this repeating pattern on the dirt here. Go over to your Layers panel and double-click on the layer to load it up. Use the Clone Stamp tool to remove it. Save the file and go back to our project over here. That looks better. Now let's fix the depth of field in the front. Select the Smart Filter mask on our dirt layer and start adjusting our depth of field like we did on the last one. Alright, now close these groups. Go to the top layer and copy merge all layers by hitting Ctrl, Alt, Shift, and E, or Command, Option, Shift, and E for Mac. Now, we are going to color correct the grass underneath the blazer. Go up here and click on Camera Raw Filter. Wait for it to load. Alright, now go down here and start adjusting these sliders. Push up the reds and the greens. Pull down the blues. Maybe bring up the saturation some. That looks good. Go up the color, and let's bring up the temperature a little. All right, let's go to the color mixer and make some adjustments. Push this up some. And do the same for this. Pull this down some. Let's bring down the saturation. And the luminance. That should do it. Let's hit OK. Go down here and create a mask. Now let's start painting in the grass underneath the blazer. Make sure you get the grass behind the rims. Zoom in here and fix some of our mistakes. Making sure we didn't miss anything. That looks good. Alright, now let's add some more stuff to our environment. Go to your file location and drag in this image. Now we need to cut out some of these. Go over here and select the lasso tool. Now carefully cut this out. Right-click and select Layer via Copy. Now select the image again. Carefully cut out the next one. Right-click and select Layer via Copy. Select the image again and do the same. Carefully cut it out. Alright, now we can delete the image we brought in. Select this one and drag it down here. Make it a little bigger. Turn off this layer for now. Select this one, make it bigger. And move it down here. Move this layer below this one. Now let's blur it. Since it's in the foreground, we need to blur it a lot. Let's do 35. And do the same to this image. Now duplicate this to make it fuller. Duplicate it again. Make it smaller. and move it over here. Now turn on this layer and make it bigger. Move it down here. Blur it like the last ones. Duplicate it to make it fuller. Select all of them and create a group. Name it Bush. Create a hue saturation adjustment and clip it to the bush group. We need to make them all one color. Now create an exposure adjustment. Clip it to our hue saturation layer and bring the exposure all the way down. Now select the mask, set your brush opacity down to 15%. And we're going to gently paint some highlights back in. That looks pretty good. Alright, that's it for this video. I will see you in the next one.